The left rushing to blame global warming for that dangerous heat wave gripping the nation and the world right now. But I think the heat's getting to their heads. Climate change-obsessed liberals are actually acting crazier than usual, with eco-extremists in Germany literally gluing their hands to airport runways as a way to sound the alarm on how the planet's cooked. It wound up blocking plane traffic at 2 airports for hours until officials ripped the protesters off the concrete. Kamala is also getting herself into somewhat of a sticky situation while pumping up the climate hysteria. Check out this huge gaffe she made.
Every day, all across our nation, we feel and see the impact of the climate crisis. It is clear that the clock is not only ticking, it is banging, and we must act. Think about the impact on something like public health. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
The White House forced to clean that one up, posting a corrected, quote-unquote, version of the transcript of her speech that claims Harris meant to say pollution instead of population. And while Kamala claims it was just a gaffe, liberals seem to agree with it. 53% of parents say that global warming affects their decision to have more kids. Greg, it was pretty hot over the weekend. Do you think it's because of global warming?
No, but I think that what she did was she unintentionally said the true meaning of what the climate activism is. They see population as pollution, as something that needs to be reduced, not the carbon footprint, but your actual literal footprint. And then you see these activists gluing themselves. The thing that drives me crazy about that is, okay, as activists, that's their role. And I understand that role. But you know that they actually go home and see their families on holidays, or they'll go on a vacation. They do these things. We have to get all of their personal information out there so that we know when they're traveling that we get to make it as difficult as possible for them.
All right.
You know, because it's like, why, like, we know, like, if they didn't use planes, trains, or automobiles, then I would respect this in a way, but you know they aren't. They're ruining other people's lives, either temporarily. And I think that's the problem with the climate movement, is they've done more to harm the environment than actual pollution because they were hijacked by extremists. And you have all this lost opportunities for actual debate. All the people that are out, that have really fresh ideas, whether it's, you know, Bjorn Lomborg or Schellenberger, they're outside the debate because this debate has been hijacked by two people seeking status and people paying for that status. So you have the corporations and the people that want to be included in this. They're the ones that are driving this extremism.
So, Janine, how would you handle one of these protesters gluing their hands to concrete on the tarmac?
Well, one of the things that I think we need to recognize is these are like a bunch of spoiled kids. They're trying to be whatever, leftists. They're trying to make their, make their voices heard, so to speak. And the truth is they're doing nothing but engaging in criminal behavior. That is criminal behavior. And the more people let them get away with it and just move them out of the way, or like take a little knife to make sure the glue comes off so they don't hurt their hands that are glued to the tarmac, or apparently in Hamburg, they delayed, canceled, and diverted 47 flights. I mean, we just let them get away with it. Same thing with the Walton heiress's yacht. They were spray painting it red and black, and they're talking about how she's such a horrible person. And the truth is that you've got a Walmart heiress who provides 2.1 million jobs. 2.1 million jobs in this country, okay? And yet they want to criticize her. They want to destroy her boat. They want to say that she's a horrible person. I don't see anybody going after John Kerry's airplanes, but that's, I'm sure, not intentional. I'm sure it's accidental. But the truth is that you ought to leave them glued to the floor. Just like they did in one place, I don't know what country, I think it was Germany. It was the middle of winter. They went in, they glued themselves to this business. It may have been a car sales company. They glued themselves to the floor. You know what the business did? They turned out the lights. They turned off the heat. They locked them up in the place for the weekend, and they were moaning on Monday morning. We didn't have any food. We had to pee on ourselves. We didn't have any heat. You know what? That's the only way to treat them. They're criminals. Shut them down and end it.
Is it good enough for the White House the next day to just draw a line through a word in the transcript and then forget about the Kamala comment?
Well, you have a media that is very incurious, right? Do you remember how much the media covered Covfefe?
Oh, right.
And then they can't cover this. I think amending transcripts, as long as they announce it or there's an asterisk or that it's clear, but that she didn't catch herself.
Yeah.
Right? And say, wait, I mean, obviously I meant pollution. Like,
she didn't even.
She didn't.
Yeah.
But if you watch it closely, I've watched it a couple times, I do think she was like, wait, was that the right word? Did I just say that? You know how sometimes you do that when you're, and you can misspeak when you're speaking live on television or at a speech, you can do that, but she didn't have the sense to catch herself. And also, she might mean it, and she didn't realize what the implication of that would be. I don't think any of this discussion is serious unless you're talking about a way to help people in the Southwest have access to more affordable energy. And access to more affordable energy, if you do that, means there's more innovation. That means there's money for innovation. Innovation leads to great technologies that will help you power more people there in their homes so that they can have the air conditioning that they need. And the same here in the Northeast. We covered a lot of stories, a tragic one about the flooding that's happening in Vermont, all the way up and down the eastern seaboard. Terrible situation in Bucks County, PA yesterday. And what the infrastructure bill should do is to take a look and say, what do we need to do to reinforce and adapt to make sure that we can deal with this, not just by saying the energy companies should go bankrupt and go away and we should get rid of all of those jobs, but to say, what's the smart way to deal with this? And there is literally nobody on the left talking that way.
Speaking of someone on the left.
Except for Harold Ford Jr., who will say he's for an all-of-the-above strategy.
Who's on my
and
right.
it's good to be back here.
It is good. Harold?
Weekend was good. It's good to be back around the table.
Take it away.
So you have record temperatures in a lot of places across the country, including my home state of Tennessee, Texas, Mississippi, Florida, even in European nations, Poland, France, Italy, seeing record temperatures, Japan and China as well. Now, something's going on. And I think, Dana, everybody's onto something here. Everybody is so comfortable being in their cocoon that they don't want to come out and say, all right, you're right about this, but I'm right about this also. Or you may not be right about this, I may not be right about this. Let's figure out ways in which to figure out how we build a new grid in Texas and across the Southwest. How do we provide more investments, Dana, to your point about innovations to help create more energy, ample energy supplies here in our country? It reminds me of when some Democrats like to say the cashless bill is working. They're wrong. Or when some Republicans say that everybody should have a gun, even if you kill somebody, you beat your wife, or you got the gun illegally. That's wrong. Democrats and Republicans are like those putting themselves, cementing themselves, or trying to glue themselves to the ground in an airport. You do nothing for the cause, but basically make angry those on both sides. I get it. If that anger translates into us wanting to sit down and figure out how we reach some common ground here, then it's good. But I'm not sure that does it. I think Kamala Harris, I heard a fellow in the House, the Republican in the House the other day, talk about colored people. I like to view things in the most favorable light. I hope he meant people of color. And maybe she mistakenly said reduced population when she meant reduced pollution. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on it. But Democrats, Republicans alike, the problems are too big. The problems are too severe. Let's come together and figure out how we get an answer.
Yeah. You know, the problem, though, with this, like, I hate it on the right and the left of using the weather to say, aha, it's hot. Right. Global warming. And then somebody will, like, some right-winger will go, oh, it's freezing. Oh, where's that global warming? So they're actually cut from the same reasoning. It's the same thing. The problem with using weather, like saying, like, this place broke records. How many states, how many countries didn't break records? Nobody ever provides you the context of, like, 3 countries had record-breaking heat waves. It's like, well, how many countries are there? Like, I'm not.
Is this a quiz?
Yes, it is. Hold on a second.
Let's see.
Hey, Steve. No, it's probably like, how many countries are there? 800?
800? No, that's way too many.
That's too many
way
countries?
too many, yeah.
All right.
What's it, like 100?
People at home,
80, 200? I don't know.
You know what? But they're comparing these guesses of global temperatures from hundreds and hundreds of years ago when people
there
never
are
even kept
195 countries in the world.
Oh, I was off by a factor of 4.
Very close.
Yeah.
Off by a factor of 4.
But the point is, as it relates to the average, I mean, they're saying from years ago, nobody was keeping numbers 200 years ago. I don't know what they're comparing it to.
But they were keeping them 100. I hear you, but
they're saying 100.
I just
But
know
they're
that
saying with technology
it's hot.
today, you can look back and see.
Yeah.
But the other point is, when it was hotter back then, there were no greenhouse. There were no man-made man-made greenhouse gas emissions.
Right.
And that's a really
and
good
also
point.
woman-made
I think that
greenhouse
Harold's
gases.
biased. I think you're biased because wherever you are, it's always hotter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.